Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has described a US decision to suspend most visa services as upsetting. He says Turkish officials had contacted their US counterparts about the move, which was prompted by the detention last week of a Turkish national working at the US consulate in Istanbul. Well, Turkey has also suspended visa services in the US. Dr. Murat Yurtbilir is an associate lecturer in Turkish studies at the Centre for Arab and Islamic Studies at the Australian National University, and he joins me live now. Doctor, thanks very much for your time this evening.
It's my pleasure, thank you.
Is this action, this extreme reaction of suspending the visas, is that extreme in response to just the arrest of an employee, or are there other unspoken reasons behind this move?
Well, of course, there are other unspoken reasons. In fact, it's a part of some sort of escalation, high tension between the United States and the Republic of Turkey. Well, this person is not the first person who was arrested by the Turkish authorities. There are 12 American citizens in jail in Turkey, and particularly one of them is an American pastor in jail, and Turkish government seemingly is using these people in order to create some sort of swap with the Turkish cleric living in Pennsylvania, United States. So it is not an unexpected thing. It is an expected escalation, unfortunately.
So there's been a long build-up to this last move. What are some of the other underlying disputes that existed before this, as well as those arrests that you just mentioned?
We can count a lot of reasons for the escalation. Of course, the first one is the US-based cleric, Fethullah Gülen. Turkish government is claiming that this cleric was behind the coup attempt of last year, and he is denying this, and the Turkish government demanding consistently this person to be extradited to Turkey. This is the first thing. In the pro-government newspapers, you are every day seeing that United States is behind this coup, because they are supporting this cleric. The second issue with regard to Turkish-American relationship, of course, is the Iranian money issue. Last year, one government official and then a minister was warranted by the United States court, the American court, to take, with the allegation to take part in the Iranian money laundering and violation of the American sanctions against Iran. The third thing is about the Syrian issue. Turkey has been complaining that the United States is providing weapons to the YPG warriors in Syria. America is claiming that these people are fighting against IS, and Turkish government is denying this, and they are saying that this group is linked to the terrorist group of PKK, who has been active in Turkey in the last 30 years. These are the main titles of the escalation between US and Turkey.
So it's a complicated relationship at the moment. Does this visa suspension further compound the existing tensions that exist?
Yes, it is interesting, but yesterday this visa thing has been discussed in the Turkish media so much. Just hours ago, American embassy in Ankara announced that this is not a ban against the Turkish citizen, but it is a temporary suspension in order to create a safe atmosphere for the American consulate and embassy workers. So I hope that this is some sort of de-escalation, the start of the escalation process. But there are so many categories that there are problems between US and Turkey. So I expect the leaders level, President Trump and the President Erdogan, to meet or to communicate about these issues and to solve. It is a larger issue now. It has a lot of different phases, not only visa issue, but also different parts.
You say that this suspension is temporary. The US Ambassador John Bass says that he hopes it won't last long. How long do you think this suspension will last?
Well, nobody can guess, to be honest, about this. In fact, it is temporary, plus the American ambassador claimed that a Turkish citizen can go a neighboring country such as Bulgaria or Greece and apply the American visa. So this is a sign of the escalation. Of course, the response by the Turkish government is important. I don't know whether they will insist on the problematic areas, just give back the cleric back to us and then later we can give back the American passport to you. Such kind of hostage swap is a dirty term, but it is the hostage swap basically. I hope that this will not continue and the leaders of the countries will find a solution, because for each other, for America, the Turkey, and for Turkish government, the America is indispensable. So if we think the problems in the Kurdish region of Iraq, the Syrian Sea, the Iranian problems, Turkish army and the Turkish political force are existent in all these three fields, at which America also active and wants to be active.
On the topic of cooperation, this latest bickering comes at a particularly fraught moment in the fight against ISIS. Is the cooperation between the two countries being jeopardised?
Well, cooperation, in fact, for long has been jeopardized. The reason of the problem is that America's choice, the United States' choice to support the YPG group as expected. It is normal because YPG is the most efficient force on the field now. This created problems for Turkey, seeing all these movements as a part of a terrorist organization. But except this, Turkey, particularly in the last 1.5 years, is taking part against some jihadists. I am saying jihadists, but non-IS jihadists, like the Hayat al-Tahrir al-Sham in the Idlib province. This will continue. I guess this visa problem will not affect the events, the developments in Syrian field.
All right, Dr. Murat Yurtbilir, thanks very much for speaking with us this evening.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.